All right, welcome in, everyone. We're glad to have you here. Come on in and grab a seat if you'd like, folks here at the Pilvi Theater. And since we are not a large group, we were a mighty group, right? I feel like I feel like we can be loud. We can do this. All right, please put your hands together and give a big welcome to the stage from Solace, John Diamond.
Hello, guys. Welcome. How's the conference going so far? Is everybody having fun? Everybody having fun? Right, that's a bit of a muted response, so I'm guessing most of you are having fun. Maybe a few of you have had a rough time in the casino. So if you're having a great time, you've come to the right presentation, because we're going to measure exactly how happy you are. And if you're not having such a great time, you've got a part to play in this demo as well. Okay, so my name's John Diamond, and I work for Solace. And Solace are producers of the best event/message broker there is on the planet. So why is Solace the best event and message broker? Well, basically, we're the quickest. We've got the best feature set. We're a pure play company investing all our R&D effort into an event broker. So the feature set is second to none, the performance is second to none, and the scalability is also second to none. So just to give you an example of kind of some of the customers we have, we've got most of the major investment banks using Solace to handle their messaging needs. We've got some cool connected car customers simulating 20 million connected cars on the road, sending data through Solace. But we've also got a messaging as a service platform, which means anybody from any size, if you're an SME looking to get into messaging, looking to do microservice architectures, we've got a platform for you as well. So we have a free platform available up to 10,000 messages a second, which is free for life, development or production usage. So I'm going to do a demo today, and we're going to have a load of fun. The theme of the demo is that messaging is fun, messages are everywhere, events are everywhere, and you want to get them together, set those events free on an event broker that can scale with your enterprise. So how are we going to do that? So I'm just going to introduce our little robot that's going to help us. So our little robot here, he's got some eyes, he's got a voice, he's a speaker, he can move around, and he's going to show you some expressions and emotions on his face. Why did I choose this robot? Well, it's pretty well set up, as you can see. It's based on a phone, so it means I've got some wireless communications. I can connect to the cloud using MQTT to send messages. It's got some gyroscopes and compasses, so I can tell exactly which way the robot's moving and which orientation he's got. And also there's proximity sensors, so I know if there's anything in front of him. So the goal of this demo is to get the robot to respond to the emotion of whoever's stood in front of the camera. And by the way, that means it's going to be you guys stood in front of the camera, not me. Okay, so I'm going to show you an architecture that we could have put together. So I mentioned the feature set of Solace earlier on, and we do all the standard pub, sub, request, reply. We do streaming, we do replay. So we do all the kind of normal messaging patterns. But we got some really innovative features as well. And one of those is a REST micro gateway. So I imagine a load of you guys today are doing RESTful point-to-point communication. And when you do these RESTful point-to-point communication, those kind of messages, well, they're point-to-point, right? They're lost. They can't be tapped by any of your other services. Yes, you can do some service discovery, but if you want to send that same event or message to another system, you have to do 2 REST posts, right? Well, that's pretty inefficient, and it's not really scalable. And actually, when you layer services on top of each other, then you end up with a chain of services, which makes them become brittle, right? So Solace can help you break that pattern without you having to change your architecture. We have a REST micro gateway, which you can put in between your clients and your servers. And when the REST request hits our micro gateway, it automatically gets turned into an event. It gets forwarded on to your target system. And when the response comes back, that's also turned into an event. So you can tap into both the request and the response and start doing other processing, triggering other microservices, triggering Lambda functions, whatever it is you want to do. So now I'm going to show you another diagram, which is kind of what I've built today to demonstrate this kind of emotion recognition. So we have the robot, which is going to detect when there's a face in front of the camera. It's going to take a photo, and it's going to send it to what we call a topic, which is just a hierarchical label for where you send events on the event broker. And the idea of these topic structures is you make them rich with information. So in this example, I've got the robot ID. So if I've got 3 or 4 robots, I can tell which robot has sent the message. And I've also got something that describes the event. Now on Solus, we have a really rich routing methodology with the topics. So you can do wildcards on individual levels of the topic structure. So you can make sure your clients get exactly what they're interested in when they're interested in it. And if you want to drink from the fire hose, you can just subscribe to everything. But there's some really cool stuff you can do with the topic structure. And if you come over to booth 2644, we can show you where we've done some geolocation stuff just by including lat and long in the topic hierarchy and using wildcards to zone in on a particular area. So with this demo, the image is going to end up hitting Solus. I've got a Spring Boot microservice, which is going to pick that up and put the image into S3. S3 is going to trigger a Lambda function using SNS. And then in the Lambda function, because the whole purpose of this demo is to liberate events and make them available to the enterprise, I'm also going to push that event to Solus, so any other microservices can act on that. And then the Lambda function will send the event to recognition. Recognition will analyze the face, detect the emotion, and send the result back to the Lambda function, which again publishes that to Solus. So now I've got this kind of closed loop where images are going over Solus, can be tapped by anything. The events from SNS are published over Solus and can be tapped by anything. And the results of this emotion recognition are also published back over Solus. And at the bottom, you can see there's a Node.js function, which is then going to translate that response and send a command to the robot to do something and to mimic the emotion of whoever's in front of the camera. So that leads on to the first demo. So can we switch? So here we go. So what we can see here is we've got raw data coming through the event bus on the left-hand side. We've got the iPhone simulator running on the right-hand side, which is showing exactly the same thing as is on the screen of the iPhone here. So I'm looking for a volunteer to step up. You can see your face on this robot here. So I've split it out into 2 devices, so it's easy to see what the image is that's been taken. So if you just want to line yourself up, do a smile, look sad, whatever it is that you feel at the moment, and we're going to see what happens. So on this stream on the left, we should start to see. Do you want to just get a bit closer and do a big grin or something? So where are we? Just wait a few seconds. Hopefully we're going to see something. Let me go back and look at the stream. Do we have audio from the laptop, by the way, guys? OK, right. So you can see the robot kind of responded to the emotion. I'm not sure which one that was, but we'll work that out later. OK, so that's the first bit of the demo. Just going to make sure this is pumped up full volume. We don't have it plugged in. Right, so that's why we couldn't hear anything. Righty-ho. Right, so that was the simple bit of the demo. So now we're going to do what we can always do with microservice architectures. Can we switch back to the slides, please? So, of course, the great thing about microservice architectures is if you don't know what you want to build right at the start, it doesn't matter. You've got a rich set of events going over the message bus, and you can extend it at a later point. So what I'm going to do, without changing any of the code I've already done, I'm going to add a web UI on the front of this, which will enable us to track the events that have come through the message broker. So let me just show you that. Can we switch back, please, to the other laptop? So here we go. Here's our web UI. And just in case you guys don't know what happy, sad, angry, disgruntled, surprised, and calm looks like, I've given you some clues. So what I want is a few more volunteers. And I want you to step up. And we're going to see if we can hit all of these different emotions and get the robot to respond to them. So just so you can see, this web page is not hosted on any server. There's nothing special going on. It's actually just a web page that's been loaded off my laptop and is using the Solys JavaScript SDK to connect to the cloud instance and tap into all of the messages that are going through. So who's going to volunteer to do happy, sad, whatever? Here we go. We've got one. Right. What can we do? So they're surprised, apparently. And we can see that's a surprised look, apparently. So come on, let's get some more volunteers up. Well, that was angry briefly. I don't know what I've done, but I'm sorry. Can we get some more people to pull some faces? Come on, don't be shy. If I'm wearing these glasses, you guys can get up. Come on. So if you just line yourself up with the box on the right there, it's a little bit easier. There you go. So we had, well, we had at least a quarter of a happy face there. That's how good AWS recognition is. It could tell he was happy just by his eyes, right? Fantastic. So we need a sad face still. So who's going to do this one for us? Well, we had something. I think that sounded sad, but I've not seen it on the screen. Let's try again. Oh, there you go. Fantastic. Well done, guys. So that's not quite the end of it. So can we switch back to the slides, please? Right, so we're going to enhance this solution once more. So we've now got these kind of events going through the broker. We've seen we've added this web front end on, which is using our JavaScript API. We're going to add another service, which is a Camel service. When you look at the Solys products, you'll find a GitHub page that has a number of different examples. We've got Python examples, JMS examples, Java, Node, and Camel. So we've got a Camel service. Now, if anyone's got a phone here, can they take a selfie and tweet it with the hashtag #SolysReinventDemo, all one word. And what that's going to do is it's going to get ingested by the same logic. It's going to get processed, and it's going to trigger the robot to, again, mimic the emotion of whatever's in that photo. So I'm going to keep an eye on the event stream that's going on. If we can just flick back again, please, to the other one. Come on, tweet us. There's got to be a few of you. So hashtag #SolysReinventDemo, all one word, please. Let's keep an eye on that for some action. I'm going to come and check you all tweeting now. Come on. So there is a 6-second delay. Somebody managed to get one. It sounded sad to me. So whoever that was, thank you very much. So, I mean, that kind of completes the demo. So I just want to kind of go back. If we can go back to the slides, please. It was a really simple demo, but it's covered off a number of different integration SDKs here. So we've seen something using Camel and JMS. We've got a Node.js service. We've seen a JavaScript front end, kind of with a web UI. We've actually got Python from the Lambda function, so it's a Python Lambda function. And we support .NET. We've got pretty much you covered on every base. So I just wanted to kind of do a call to action. So I don't know how many of you know Solys. If you know Solys already, just be aware that we've got some new services out there. The micro gateway is a pretty new feature. If you're doing point-to-point REST integration, have a think about that. How's that going to scale? How brittle are those services going to be when one of those chains in that breaks. So think about putting an event broker in the middle. And if you use our micro gateway, you don't even need to change your applications. We have a messaging as a service platform. As I said, you can be signed up on that and running in less than 5 minutes. You just need to sign up on cloud.solis.com, and it's free to use, up to 10,000 messages a second and 1,000 connected clients. Right. And if you're kind of completely new to Solis, come and talk to us. We've got lots of really great references. NASA. Anyone catch a flight here for this conference? So if you caught the flight in the US or in Europe, Eurocontrol and the FAA, their flight data goes over Solis. I saw some self-driving cars in Vegas while I'm here. I don't know if any of them are our customers, but certainly in Europe, we've got Daimler, 20 million connected vehicles. We were talking to another connected car player recently, and they're actually not just sending telemetry over Solis, but they're recording every time you press a button or switch or flick an indicator in the car. And that helps them predict how long those switches are going to last for. If people are using them, maybe they can remove something from the car and save some money. We've got some Industry 4.0 type deployments. So in Europe, people building digital twin models of physical objects. So if you're in an elevator, you don't want that elevator to break down. You don't want it to get stuck between floors. You don't want the doors to get stuck. Right? So it's important to know how many times doors can open and close before it starts to wear out. So with Solis, by taking events in real time, you can build a digital twin of your physical world products. Right? To do that takes a lot of events, and you need to be able to distribute them in real time, develop your models. So we saw some AI stuff earlier in the keynote. Use Solis to get those events in real time and distribute them into your models of objects. And there was something else that was mentioned in the keynote earlier. A little less conversation, a little more action. Well, if you're doing lots of point-to-point integration with REST, that's a hell of a lot of conversation and not a lot of action, right? If you're building a digital river of events with Solis that can scale from 10,000 messages a second to 27 million messages a second, if you deploy our hardware, then you can have a little less conversation and a hell of a lot of action. So thank you guys for listening, and I hope you go over to booth 2644 and find out a little bit more about Solis and our products. Thank you very much.